Position here. Then tell me, Marcus challenged. Why? You're just a pet. They stared at each other across the room. The anger between them was thick enough to touch. Finally, Valera looked away first. Her skin dimmed to a dark blue, almost gray. Go to bed. We have an early meeting tomorrow. Marcus didn't move. I want to understand. No, you don't. Valera walked toward the bedroom. You want to be angry? That's easier. Being angry means you don't have to think about how much worse things could be. That night, they lay on opposite sides of the bed again. But this time, Marcus spoke into the darkness. Why humans? Why does Elthari keep humans as pets? Silence. Then Valera's voice, soft and tired. Because your species is rare in this part of space. Because you think differently than we do. Because having something rare and unusual shows wealth and power. Is that all I am? Rare and unusual? That's all any pet is. What about you? Marcus asked. Are you just doing this for status? More silence. When Valera finally spoke, her voice was different. Quieter. Almost vulnerable. I bought your contract because Thorn Vex was going to buy it. He would have broken you. Used you. Thrown you away when he got bored. At least with me, you'll survive. Marcus turned his head to look at her in the darkness. So you did save me. I saved myself from watching another human die because of that monster. Valera's skin glowed faintly in the dark, a pale purple. Don't mistake that for kindness. The next few weeks fell into a pattern. During the day, Marcus learned Valera's business. She was right. He was useful. His human perspective helped her see opportunities she would have missed. His engineering knowledge helped her evaluate technology deals. Slowly, she began actually listening to his suggestions. But at night, at the social gatherings, he was still her pet. Still her possession. And every night when they returned home, they fought. Not with fists, but with words. Sharp, cutting words designed to hurt. You enjoy this, Marcus said one night after a particularly humiliating party. Whereas Elthari woman had asked if she could touch his hair like he was an exotic animal. I don't enjoy anything, Valera shot back. Then why do you do it? Because it's necessary. Her skin flashed bright red, then purple, then a sickly yellow Marcus had never seen before. Because if I show any weakness, any kindness, any hint that I care about my pet's feelings, the other merchants will tear me apart. They'll see softness, and they'll attack. That's how this world works. That's a sad world. It's the only world I have. Valera turned away from him, her skin dimming. You think I wanted this life? You think I chose to be cold and cruel and alone? You're not alone. You have dozens of business associates. Valera laughed, but it was a bitter sound. Associates. Yes. People who smile to my face and plan my destruction behind my back. People who would sell me to the labor mines if it meant a profit. That's not companionship, Marcus. That's survival. Marcus sat down on the couch, suddenly tired. Why are you telling me this? I don't know. Valera's skin shifted to that pale purple again. Maybe because you're the only one who can't use it against me. You're just a human. Just a pet. Nothing you say matters to anyone but me. Is that supposed to make me feel better? No. It's supposed to explain why I can talk to you. Valera sat down on the opposite end of the couch, as far from Marcus as possible. You ask why I keep you? Why I parade you around? The truth is, once I bought your contract, I had no choice. If I release you now, if I show that kind of weakness, my rivals will destroy everything I've built. Thornvex is already looking for any excuse to challenge me. Showing mercy to a human would be all the excuse he needs. So we're both trapped, Marcus said quietly. They sat in silence for a long time. Finally, Marcus spoke. The other humans at those parties, the ones who've been pets for years, they look dead inside. Most of them are. I won't let that happen to me. Valera turned to look at him. Her silver eyes caught the light from the nebula outside. Then keep fighting me. Keep being angry. It's the only way you'll survive with your mind intact. Is that what you do? Every single day, when they went to bed that night, something had changed. They still slept on opposite sides of the bed. They still barely touched. But the war between them felt different now. Less like enemies and more like two prisoners planning an escape they both knew was impossible. Hash part. 3 cracks in the armor, everything fell apart on a Tuesday. Not that Marcus really understood Zelthari time cycles, but he'd started calling them Tuesdays in his head. Just to feel a little more human, Valera came back to her quarters in the middle of the work cycle. That never happened. She was always at meetings, always working, always maintaining her perfect image. But today she walked through the door with her skin flickering between colors so fast Marcus couldn't track them. Red, yellow, gray, purple, all mixing together in a chaos that meant something was terribly wrong. What happened? Marcus asked, standing up from the workstation where he'd been reviewing supply contracts. Thorn Vex. Lara's voice was shaking. Marcus had never heard her voice shake before. He knows. Knows what? Valera walked to the window and stared out at the nebula. Her skin was settling into a dark gray, almost black. Marcus had learned that gray meant fear or sadness. This dark gray was both. My family lost everything 12 years ago. A bad investment, a market crash, debts we couldn't pay. My father took his own life. My mother disappeared. I was left with nothing but my name, and even that was worthless. Marcus listened quietly. This was the most Valera had ever told him about her past. I rebuilt from nothing, she continued. I borrowed money from dangerous people. I made deals that cost me more than credits. I used information as currency, blackmail as leverage. I became everything I hated. But I survived. I built this empire from ashes and blood and secrets. And now Thorn knows all of it. How? I don't know. Someone betrayed me. Someone I trusted. Valera's skin flickered red for a moment. Anger, he called me today. Told me that if I don't surrender my trade routes in the Vega sector, he'll expose everything. He'll tell every merchant on this station that I'm a fraud, that I'm broke, that I'm in debt to criminal syndicates, that everything I own is built on lies. Is it true? Yes, the word came out like a confession. All of it. If he exposes me, I lose everything. The other merchants will tear me apart. My creditors will demand immediate payment. I'll end up dead or worse. Marcus walked over to stand beside her at the window. What are the Vega sector routes worth? Half my income? Without them, I can't make my payments. I'll collapse in 6 months. So if you give them to Thorn, you die slowly. If you don't, you die quickly. Yes. Valera turned to look at him, and for the first time since he'd met her, he saw real fear in her silver eyes. I don't know what to do. I've run every scenario, every possible solution. They all end the same way. I lose. Marcus thought about it. He'd been studying Valera's business for weeks now. He knew her contracts, her trade routes, her competitors. He also knew something Valera didn't. He knew how humans did business. What if you don't lose? There's no way to win this. It's maybe not the way you're thinking. Marcus walked to the workstation and pulled up a star map. The Vega sector routes are valuable because they're the fastest way to move luxury goods from the outer colonies to the core worlds. Right? Yes, but they're not the only way. Marcus highlighted a different path on the map. This route through the Kessler Belt takes 3 days longer, but the tariffs are lower. And this route through the Nomad Cloud is actually faster if you have ships with good navigation systems. Which you do. Valera looked at the map. Her skin was shifting from gray to blue, thinking. Those routes are considered too dangerous. Most merchants won't risk them. Exactly. Most Zelthari merchants won't risk them because your species values certainty over opportunity. But humans. We built our entire economy on finding shortcuts and taking risks. Marcus pulled up more data. If you announce that you're voluntarily surrendering the Vega routes to focus on these alternative paths, you don't look weak. You look strategic. And when Thorn tries to expose you, it won't matter because you've already repositioned yourself. But I'll still lose half my income. In the short term, yes. But look at this. Marcus showed her the calculations he'd been running. These alternative routes have almost no competition. You could charge premium rates, And the Nomad Cloud route opens access to 3 new markets that Thorn doesn't even know exist. Give me 6 months, and I think we can make back what you lost and more. Valera stared at the numbers. Her skin was now a bright blue. Hope, maybe, or just the beginning of it. This could work. It will work. But you have to move fast. Make the announcement before Thorn expects it. Control the narrative. How do you know this will work? Marcus smiled. Because humans are really good at turning disasters into opportunities. It's kind of our thing. They worked through the night. Marcus calculated routes, ran projections, identified new trading partners. Valera contacted her ship captains, started rerouting cargo, prepared announcements. They didn't eat. They barely spoke, except to share information. But they worked side by side like they'd done it for years instead of weeks. At one point, around the 4th work cycle, Valera's hand brushed against Marcus's as they both reached for the same data pad. Finally, Lyra turned her head to look at him. "Thank you," she said, "for not leaving me, for fighting when running would have been safer, for being kind when you had every reason not to be." Marcus smiled. "You reorganized my kitchen. You're in this together now, whether you like it or not." Lyra's smirk returned. Weak, but there. "I am beginning to understand human humor," she said. "It is still inefficient, but less irritating than before." They sat together in the dim light of the abandoned station. Outside the window, Europa turned slowly. Jupiter filled half the sky. The hunters were far behind them. For now, they were safe. For now, they could rest. She teleported into my shower, looked me over, smirked and refused to leave Part 4. Breaking barriers, the research station creaked and groaned around them. Marcus worked on restoring main power, while Lyra examined her dimensional anchor under a portable light. 3 days had passed since their escape to Europa. 3 days of quiet work and careful conversation. Marcus had learned things about her. Small things she hummed while she worked. A sound with no melody, just vibration to help her think. She did not need much sleep. 4 hours every 2 days was enough for Violith biology. She had 17 visible patterns on her skin, but hundreds more that only appeared under certain emotional states. "The primary crystal is fractured," Lyra said. She did not look up from her work. "I can repair the fracture, but it will limit functionality. No more long-range jumps. Perhaps 5 kilometers maximum range. Will that be enough to escape?" Marcus asked. He reconnected a power coupling and the lights brightened slightly. "Escape to where?" Lyra asked. "I told you. There is nowhere they will not find me eventually." Marcus climbed down from the power junction. He walked to where she sat at a workbench. Tools and components surrounded her like the pieces of an impossible puzzle. "Tell me about the Velith," he said. "Your home, your people." Lyra's patterns flickered. She set down the delicate crystal she was holding. "Why do you want to know?" she asked. "Because you know about humans," Marcus said. "You studied us, read our books, learned our language. But I know nothing about you, except that your people exiled you." Lyra was quiet for a long moment. Her fingers traced patterns on the workbench. Finally, she spoke. "The Velith are old," she said. "We achieved dimensional travel 3,000 years before humans left Earth. We built an empire across 17 star systems. It became powerful, efficient, perfect." "Perfect sounds lonely," Marcus observed. Lyra looked at him with surprise in her violet eyes. "Yes," she agreed softly. "Perfect is very lonely. We removed emotion from our culture, declared it weakness. Children are raised in educational facilities, no families, no attachments. We learn, we work, we serve the consortium. That is all." "Oh, but you felt emotions anyway," Marcus said. "I did," Lyra confirmed. "From childhood I felt things I should not feel. Joy, when I solved problems. Sadness, when I saw suffering. Anger at injustice. I learned to hide it, to pretend, but eventually they discovered the truth." She picked up the crystal again, but did not work on it, just held it. "My dimensional research was brilliant," she continued. "They wanted to use it. I refused. I told them I felt it was wrong to exploit other dimensions. The consortium does not tolerate that word, wrong. It implies moral judgment, emotion, weakness. So they exiled you, Marcus said. They gave me a choice, Lyra corrected. Submit to emotional suppression therapy or leave. The therapy would have erased who I am, made me like them. Empty, efficient, perfect. Her patterns turned dark purple, almost black. I chose exile, she said. I chose to feel, even if feeling meant being alone. Even if it meant running forever, could not give up the part of me that made me care. Marcus sat down on the floor next to her bench. He looked up at her face, saw the loneliness there, the same loneliness he carried. I lost my family 5 years ago, he said. Shuttle accident on Mars. My wife and daughter were visiting the colony when the reactor failed. 300 people died, including everyone I loved. Lyra's patterns shifted to soft blue. The color Marcus was learning meant sympathy. I am sorry, she said. I left Earth after that, Marcus continued. Took a job on the orbital shipyard. Worked alone, lived alone. I told myself it was better that way, safer. If you do not let people close, they cannot hurt you when they leave. But also, they cannot help you when you need help, Lyra said quietly. Yes, Marcus agreed. I forgot that part. Until you appeared in my shower and refused to leave. Lyra smiled, not her usual smirk. A real smile. You were very upset about the shower incident, she said. You appeared while I was naked and vulnerable, Marcus said, and then you smirked. I apologize for the smirk, Lyra said. I was frightened, lone, lost. The smirk was armor. Pretending confidence I did not feel. I understand armor, Marcus said. I wore mine for 5 years. They sat in comfortable silence. Outside the window, Europa's icy surface reflected Jupiter's light. Inside the station, the recycled air hummed through vents. 2 broken people in an abandoned place, finding something neither expected. Marcus, Lyra said slowly. If I complete the repairs, if I can leave, would you come with me? Marcus looked at her with surprise. Come with you where? Anywhere, Lyra said. Everywhere. I have dimensional technology. We could visit worlds humans have never seen, explore reality itself. You have engineering knowledge. I have dimensional physics. Together, we could do remarkable things. The hunters would follow us, Marcus said. Probably, Lyra agreed. But they would follow me regardless. At least this way I would not be alone. At least this way you would not be hiding from life on a shipyard. Marcus thought about it, leaving everything. Running through dimensions with an alien woman he met 4 days ago? It was insane. It was also the most alive he had felt in 5 years. Let me think about it, he said. Before Lyra could respond, alarms screamed through the station. Marcus jumped to his feet and ran to the sensor console. What he saw made his blood freeze. 3 ships just appeared in orbit, he said. Hunter, configuration, they found us. It's impossible, Lyra said. She grabbed her device and checked its readings. The anchor is completely dormant. No dimensional signature. No energy emissions. They should not have been able to track us. Then how did they know? Marcus asked. The communication system crackled to life. A voice filled the station. Cold, mechanical. Lyra of the Velith Consortium. This is Commander Krell of the Hunter Fleet. We tracked your shuttle's ion trail across 600 million kilometers. Your hiding place is surrounded. Surrender the dimensional research, and the human will be spared. Refuse, and we destroy the station, with both of you inside. Lyra's patterns flashed bright red. Anger. Real anger. They lied, she said. They said they would not harm you if I surrendered. They always lie. We need to run, Marcus said. Started calculating escape routes on the console. The shuttle is still fueled. If we launch now, we might reach the ice caves on Europa's surface before they can fire. Running will not work, Lyra said. She was staring at her device. They will destroy us from orbit. Cannot run fast enough. Then we fight, Marcus said. The station has mining lasers. Old but functional. We get 3 ships against 2 people in a research station? Lyra shook her head. That is not a fight. That is suicide. Marcus felt desperation rising. They were trapped, outgunned, out of options. Then what do we do? He asked. Lyra looked at him. Her violet eyes were calm now, determined. You take the shuttle and go, she said. I will surrender. Give them the research. They will be too busy with me to pursue you. You can make it back to the shipyard. Back to your life. No, Marcus said immediately. Absolutely not. Marcus, be logical. I am done with logic, Marcus shouted. Logic kept me alone for 5 years. Logic says you are just an alien I met by accident. Logic says I should save myself and let you face this alone. He grabbed her shoulders, made her look at him. But I am not leaving you, he said firmly. We survive this together or not at all. That is my choice. That is my decision. And you do not get to make it for me. Lyra stared at him. Her patterns cycled through a dozen colors. Confusion, fear, something warm that Marcus had never seen before. You are being inefficient, she whispered. I am being human, Marcus said. The station shook. The hunters were firing warning shots. 30 seconds until we destroy the station, Commander Krell's voice announced. Surrender now, or die together. Your choice. Marcus looked around the station desperately. They needed a miracle. They needed something the hunters would not expect. They needed his eyes fell on the dimensional anchor. Lyra, he said slowly, you said the device can access parallel dimensions. Other realities? Yes, she said. But without repairs it cannot. What if we did not try to teleport? Marcus interrupted. What if we opened a dimensional tier here, right at this location? Lyra's eyes widened. Open a tier without stabilization. That would create a dimensional vortex. It would be catastrophic. Everything within 10 kilometers would be pulled through into random dimensions, including us, including the hunter ships. But we would survive? Marcus asked. Unknown, Lyra said. We might survive. We might be torn apart. We might end up in dimensions where physics work completely differently, where we cannot breathe, cannot exist. The hunters would be destroyed, Marcus said. Yes, Marcus said without hesitation. I will volunteer to help coordinate the effort. Khalees stepped forward. As will I. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. A Cyrillan commander volunteering for medical work? It was unheard of. You cannot be serious, Zirith said to Kellis. You would risk your life for these refugees. For nothing. Kellis's crystalline eyes hardened. Honor is not nothing. These beings need help. I will provide it. It is suicide, the Zenthari representative said. Even with protective equipment, the risk is enormous. Then we need volunteers who understand the risks, Marcus said. But we also need to try. Doing nothing is not acceptable. Not when we have the ability to help. Morel, the Kelran ambassador, stood up. The Kelran Union will provide medical supplies and scientific support. If the humans' plan has merit, we should attempt it. Slowly, other species began pledging support. Medical equipment from the Zenthar, quarantine facilities from the Sistari, food and supplies from various sources. Not everyone agreed, but enough did to make the plan possible. The council chair flickered. Very well. We will implement the humans' protocol. Commander Kellis will lead the security and logistics. Ambassador Marcus Chen will coordinate the humanitarian response. You have 72 hours. The next 3 days were the hardest of Marcus's life. The quarantine zone was established on Platform 17, an old cargo bay hastily converted to medical use. The refugees were brought off their dying ship in careful groups. Healthy individuals were separated immediately, given food and clean spaces to rest. The infected were moved to the medical section. Marcus worked alongside doctors and nurses from 6 different species. Kellis organized supply lines and security with military precision. She also personally helped move patients, her strength allowing her to carry beings that others struggled with. Marcus discovered that human emotional intelligence was more valuable than he ever imagined. While other species approached the refugees clinically, Marcus talked to them. He learned their names. He held hands with frightened children. He sat with dying elderly beings and listened to their stories. Kellis watched him work with what might have been wonder in her crystalline eyes. You do this naturally, she said during a rare break. They sat together in a decontamination room, exhausted and hungry. Do what? Care Kellis said simply. Not just about keeping them alive, but about them as individuals. Most species see refugees as numbers, problems to solve. You see people. Marcus wiped sweat from his face. Is that not normal? No, Kellis said softly. It is special. It is why I knew you were worth defending. It worked around the clock. Slowly, progress showed. The infection rate slowed. The healthy refugees were cleared and relocated to proper housing on the station. Treatment reduced deaths among the infected by half. It was not perfect, but it was far better than abandoning them. On the fourth day, when the crisis was finally under control, Marcus and Kellis stood on the observation deck of Platform 17. Below them, refugee families reunited, children played in safe spaces, and medical teams continued their careful work. We did it, Marcus said quietly. We did it, Kellis corrected. Your plan. Your leadership. Your compassion. You made it possible. Kellis smiled. We make a good team. News of the successful operation spread through the station quickly. The species that had pledged support praised the effort. Even some who had opposed it admitted the outcome was better than expected. But the biggest change was in how people looked at Marcus. When he walked through the corridors now, beings nodded respectfully. Some even stopped to thank him for what he had done. In the next council meeting, when Marcus entered the chamber, several ambassadors actually stood in greeting. It was a small gesture, but it meant everything. Xerath glared from across the room but said nothing. He could not mock what Marcus had accomplished. 2,000 lives saved spoke louder than any insult. Kellis stood beside Marcus, as she always did now. They see you differently now. They see us, Marcus corrected. Yes, Kellis agreed, her voice warm. They see us. And for the first time, Marcus felt like he truly belonged on the Galactic Exchange Station. Not as a joke or a curiosity, but as someone who had proven his worth through action. Part 4. The Declaration 3. Months had passed since the plague ship crisis. Marcus Chen had changed in ways he never expected. He walked with more confidence. He spoke with more authority. Other ambassadors actually listened when he proposed ideas in council meetings. But the biggest change was his relationship with Kellis. They spent almost every day together now. Training sessions in the morning, diplomatic work in the afternoon, and quiet dinners in the evening where they talked about everything and nothing. Marcus had fallen in love with her. He knew it, even though he tried to deny it. How could he not? She was brilliant, honorable, and saw him in ways nobody else did. But she was also a legendary Cyrillan warrior, and he was just a human. The galaxy was finally starting to respect him, but that did not make him her equal. He never said anything. The friendship they had was too precious to risk. Kellis seemed content with how things were. She smiled more now, laughed at his jokes, and sometimes touched his shoulder in casual affection. But she never indicated she wanted anything more than friendship and partnership. Then Xerath decided to destroy everything. It happened during a major galactic council session. Representatives from over 50 species had gathered to discuss new trade agreements and territorial boundaries. Marcus sat in Earth's section, no longer in the back, but moved forward to a more prominent position. Kellis sat in the Cyrillan section. Wearing her full ceremonial armor, the silver plates gleamed under the chamber lights, and her crystalline eyes watched the proceedings with sharp attention. The meeting was going smoothly until Xerath requested permission to address the council on a matter of personal concern. The council chair granted permission. Marcus felt uneasy as Xerath moved to the central platform. The Vrex ambassador had been quiet since the plague ship incident, but Marcus knew he had not forgotten or forgiven. Esteemed council, Xerath began, his rough voice carrying through the chamber. I wish to raise concerns about Commander Kellis of the Cyrillan Empire. Every head turned. Kellis did not move, but Marcus saw her eyes narrow slightly. Commander Kellis is a decorated warrior with an impressive service record, Xerath continued. However, recent events have led me to question her judgment and fitness for command. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Questioning a Cyrillan warrior's honor was dangerous. Questioning a commander's fitness was nearly unthinkable. "Explain your concerns," the council chair said carefully. "Gladly," Zirith said. He activated a holographic display showing images of Kellis and Marcus together. Training sessions. Walking through corridors. Sitting in the cafe. Working during the plague crisis. "Commander Kellis has attached herself to the human ambassador," Zirith said. "She spends excessive time with him. She has claimed protection rights over him. She has allowed her judgment to be compromised by primitive, emotional thinking." Marcus felt his face grow hot. He wanted to stand up and object, but Kellis caught his eye and gave a tiny shake of her head. "Wait. The Cyrillans are known for their logic and honor," Zirith continued. "But Commander Kellis has demonstrated neither. She has been influenced by human emotionalism. She has lowered herself to associating with an inferior species. She has forgotten what it means to be." He turned to face Kellis directly. "I formally request that Commander Kellis renounce her protection claim over the human Marcus Chen and demonstrate that her judgment has not been compromised. If she refuses, I suggest the Council question whether she should continue to hold her command position and represent the Cyrillan Empire." The chamber erupted in shocked voices. This was a direct challenge to Kellis's honor. In Cyrillan culture, such challenges could not be ignored. Marcus started to stand, but Kellis was faster. She rose from her seat with fluid grace, every movement controlled and precise. She walked to the central platform, and the chamber fell silent. She stood facing Zirith, her silver face expressionless. "You question my judgment?" "I question your compromised state," Zirith said. "Renounce the human, and prove you are still a true Cyrillan warrior." Kellis was quiet for a long moment. Then she turned to face the entire council. "I will not renounce Marcus Chen," she said clearly. "Instead, I claim him as my chosen partner under the ancient Cyrillan bond of Kelthora." The silence that followed was absolute. Marcus's heart stopped. Kelthora was the highest partnership bond in Cyrillan culture, reserved for life partners who were considered equals in every way. It was deeper than marriage, more sacred than family. It could not be broken, except by death. "Cannot be serious," Zirith sputtered. "The human. You're Kelthora." "I am completely serious," Kellis said. She turned and looked directly at Marcus. Her crystalline eyes held emotions he had never seen before. "Marcus Chen possesses honor, courage, compassion, and adaptability. He has proven himself in crisis. He has earned respect through action. He sees value in others beyond strength or status. These qualities make him worthy of being my chosen partner." Marcus could barely breathe. She was claiming him, in front of the entire Galactic Council, in a way that meant forever. Exhaustive detail. Asked him how he felt every hour, and Marcus answered, every question, every detail, because he finally understood. This was not invasion. This was love in her language. She needed to know everything because knowing him was how she loved him. On the third day, they went home. Marcus was on light duty for a week. Kessie took time off to care for him. She fussed over him constantly, made special healing foods, checked his breathing while he slept. "Now," Marcus said on day 5, "you can relax." "I cannot. Not yet." Her skin was still slightly pale. "I almost lost you. I need time to believe you are really safe." So Marcus let her fuss. Let her check his vitals. Let her hold him while they slept, because this was how she healed from the trauma. And he was learning to love her language. One evening, he started humming, badly and off-key, but trying. Kessie looked up from her reading. "What are you doing?" "Sharing my inner world," Marcus said. "I am happy, grateful, safe with you." Kessie's skin turned brilliant gold. "You are learning. I am trying. For you." She kissed him softly. "And I am trying for you. We will figure this out together." Marcus hummed again. Kessie harmonized with him. Two melodies. It's different, but complementary. Together, they made something beautiful. That was bonding, Marcus realized. Not becoming the same, but learning each other's songs until they made harmony. He was finally starting to understand. Part 5. Claimed and claiming 6 months passed. Marcus learned to read Kessie's skin colors like reading emotions on a human face. Blue meant contentment. Purple meant thoughtfulness. Pink meant affection. Gold meant deep joy. Gray was sadness. He now knew how to comfort. Kessie learned human customs too. She understood now that when Marcus wanted to be alone for a bit, he still loved her. He just needed to recharge his social energy. She learned that humans showed love through words more than actions. So she told him, "I love you," every day, even though it felt redundant to her. They built a life together. A strange hybrid of human and Valenthian traditions. Morning humming songs followed by coffee and conversation. Detailed schedule sharing balanced with private journaling time. They were learning each other's languages. Then Earth Central Engineering sent a message. Marcus read it 3 times before believing it. They wanted him for a senior position on Earth. Core world assignment. State-of-the-art facilities. Triple his current salary. It was everything he had dreamed about when he graduated engineering school. "What is wrong?" Kessie asked. She could always tell when something bothered him. Marcus showed her the message. She read it carefully. Her skin went through several colors, yellow, gray, then settled on neutral blue. "This is a great opportunity," she said. "Yeah, you should accept." Marcus looked at her sharply, just like that. "It is your dream job. On Earth, you told me about wanting to work in the core worlds." Her voice was calm, but her skin flickered slightly gray. "Kessie, you cannot get Earth visas easily. Valenthians are restricted because of the population density laws. So if I take this job, we would be separated." "Yes." Her skin was definitely graying now. "But I will not hold you back from your dreams. I would never do that." Marcus felt frustrated. "This is not about holding me back. Then what is it about?" "It is about us. Making decisions together. It's not just me chasing my dreams while you sacrifice yours." Kessie's skin flashed surprised orange. "You would consider not taking the position?" "Of course I would consider it. You are my bonded partner. That means something. It means I want you to be happy. And this job would make you happy. Would it? Would I be happy on Earth without you?" She looked away. "You would adjust. Humans are good at adjusting." Marcus realized what she was doing. She was being brave. Selfless. Exactly like when she offered to lie to the investigators to save him. She was ready to sacrifice her own happiness for his success. "No," Marcus said firmly. "No what?" "No, I am not accepting the position. Not if it means leaving you behind." Kessie's skin flashed angry red. "You are being foolish. It's your career, and you are my life. There is a difference. Listen to me. I will not be the thing that traps you on a frontier station. I will not be the reason you give up your dreams. You are not trapping me. I am choosing. There is a difference." Her skin cycled through colors rapidly. Red anger, gray sadness. Gray sadness. "Why are you choosing me over this opportunity?" "Because opportunities come and go. But you are once in a lifetime." "You think I would trade that for a fancy job title? Most humans would. Then I am not most humans." Marcus took her hands. "Kessie, I spent 5 years alone on frontier stations before I met you. I had my career, my independence, my privacy. And I was lonely. So lonely I did not even realize it anymore. Then you walked into my messy apartment and somehow became the most important person in my universe. I am not giving that up." Tears rolled down her face. "I do not want you to resent me later. When you are still on this station in 10 years, doing the same work, you might hate me for it. Never. I could never hate you." Marcus wiped her tears. "Besides, there are other options. We could look for positions together. Find stations or colonies that want both an engineer and someone with your skills. Build a life we both choose." Kessie looked at him with those large dark eyes. "You would do that? Change your whole career path for me, Kessie?" "I walked into a hearing and claimed you in front of station officials without fully understanding what I was doing. I think we established that I do reckless things when it comes to you." She laughed through her tears. "You are reckless, strange, and human, and yours, yes, mine. She kissed him. Yeah. But I am not letting you just reject Earth Central without exploring all options first. We will research. Find something that works for both of us. They spent 3 weeks researching. They found a possibility. A frontier research station called Haven 12. The station specialized in cross-species cooperation and technology.
Oh.
They needed engineers. They also needed cultural liaisons with Valenthian connections for a new trade. Partnership program Marcus and Kessie applied together. 2 weeks later, they had an answer. Haven 12 wanted them both. The pay was not as good as Earth Central. The station was even more remote than Threshold 7. But they would be together. They would both have meaningful work. Should we accept? Marcus asked. I think we should. Weird. They sent their acceptance the same day, gave notice on Threshold, started packing for the move. David helped Marcus pack his belongings. You are really doing this? Turning down Earth for another frontier station? Yeah, because of her? Because of us? There is a difference. David shook his head. You have changed, man. 6 months ago, you could barely handle having a maid. Now, you are planning your whole career around this alien woman. Marcus smiled. She is not just an alien woman. She is my bonded partner, my family, my home, wherever we are.
Yeah.
That is disgustingly romantic. I know. On their last night on Threshold 7, Marcus and Kessie sat in their empty apartment. All the furniture was packed. They sat on the floor where they had first talked about bonding, where everything started. Do you regret it? Kessie asked. Any of this? Marcus thought about the question seriously. The confusion, the cultural misunderstandings, the investigation, the near-death experience, the sacrifice dream job? No, not even a little bit. You? Never. Her skin was pure gold. You were the best accident that ever happened to me? Is that what I am? An accident? You were. But now you are a choice. Every day I choose you, and every day you choose me back. Yeah, I do. Marcus pulled her close. You know, when you first told me about bonding, I thought you were claiming me. Like I was some kind of possession. And now I understand that we claimed each other. It is mutual. Equal. Kessie smiled. You learned I had a good teacher. He kissed her forehead. Besides, I like being claimed by you.
Us.
It means I am yours. And you are mine. No one else gets that. No one else ever will. Valenthians bond for life, remember. Good. Because I am not going anywhere. You are stuck with me forever. Forever is a long time. Not long enough. Kessie laughed. That clear musical sound that Marcus had learned to love. You have become very Valenthian in your thinking. Maybe you have become a bit human. We meet in the middle. Yes, in the middle. That is what bonding is, I think. Creating something new together. They sat in comfortable silence. The glowing blue plant sat between them. It had 15 blooms now. More than Kessie had ever seen on one plant. It sensed the bond, responded to their connection. Ready for Haven 12? Marcus asked. Ready for anywhere, as long as you are there? That was incredibly cheesy. I learned from you. They laughed together. Their transport left in the morning. A new station, new jobs, new adventures. But they would face everything together. Marcus thought about that first day. When he hired a Valenthian maid because his apartment was messy. He never imagined it would lead here. To love, to bonding, to building a shared life across species and cultures. Hey, Kessie. Yes, thank you for not giving up on me. And I was ignorant and confused and kept accidentally bonding with you. Her skin glowed warm pink. Thank you for stepping in front of me, for choosing me, for learning my language. Marcus walked through the quiet colony. Haven's Reach looked peaceful under the two moons. Some damage remained from the attack, but repairs were already underway. This place was strong. It would survive. He found himself at the community center. The building he had saved, inside was dark and empty. Marcus sat on the steps and looked at the stars. Cannot sleep? Lysara's voice came from behind him. Marcus turned. All three women were there. They had followed him. Guess not, Marcus admitted. Too much on my mind. He sat beside him on the steps. For a while, nobody spoke. Finally, Vaintaya broke the silence. We heard what you said in medical, about caring for all of us. I shouldn't have said that, Marcus replied. It just makes this harder. We've been talking, Kiranel said. The three of us. About you, and about the trial, and about what happens next. We have made a decision, Lysara added. Marcus felt his stomach drop. What decision? Vaintaya stood and faced him. Marcus, we want to invoke the triad bond. The what? Marcus asked. Kiranel pulled out her datapad. It is an ancient Villari tradition, older even than the selection protocol. Warriors who fought together could bond themselves to a shared purpose and to each other. She showed him the texts. Marcus read quickly. The triad bond was used by warrior groups who became so close that they could not be separated. They lived together, worked together, fought together. But this was for warriors, Marcus said. It was for people who shared a common goal and trusted each other completely, Vaintaya corrected. People who became more than teammates, who became family. That is what we are, Lysara said firmly. The four of us. We work together better than anyone. We trust each other with our lives. We care for each other. The triad bond has no hierarchy, Kiranel explained. No one person is chosen above the others. Everyone is equal. Everyone is bonded to everyone else. Marcus stared at them. You want all of us to bond together? All four of us? Yes, Vaintaya said. If you will have us. But what about the matriarch? Marcus asked. What about the selection protocol? The triad bond supersedes the selection protocol, Kiranel said. It is in the ancient laws. The matriarch will have to accept it. Will she, though? Marcus wondered. We will make her understand, Lysara declared. This is what we want. This is what feels right. Marcus looked at each of them. Are you sure? All of you. We are sure, Vaintaya confirmed. These months working with you have shown us something important. We do not want to compete anymore. We want to build a life together. All of us, Kiranel added. As equals, Lysara put her hand on Marcus's shoulder. You told us you could not choose because you cared for all of us equally. We understand that now, because we feel the same. We care for you, and we have come to care for each other. Working together has brought us closer, Vaintaya explained. We are not rivals anymore. We are partners. Friends, maybe more than friends. Marcus felt emotion well up inside him. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Kiranel urged. Say you want this too. Marcus looked at the three of them. Lysara strong and brave. Vaintaya clever and passionate. Kiranel wise and kind. They were offering him everything he wanted. A way forward where no one got hurt. Yes, he said. 1,000 times yes, he smiled. All three of them. And Marcus felt something shift in the universe. Something click into place. The next morning they contacted the matriarch. She appeared on the come screen looking stern. This is highly unusual, the matriarch said after they explained. But it is legal, Kiranel pointed out. The triad bond is still recognized in Villari law. It has not been used in centuries, the matriarch argued. Then perhaps it is time to remember it, Vaintaya suggested. Our ancestors used the triad bond to achieve great things. Why should we not do the same? The matriarch studied them through the screen. And you all agree to this? All four of you? We do, they said together. The matriarch was quiet for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, she smiled. Perhaps this human has taught us something valuable. He has helped us rediscover parts of our culture we had forgotten. She nodded slowly. Very well. I approve the triad bond. May it serve you as well as it served our ancestors. The screen went dark. Marcus let out a breath he did not know he was holding. We did it, he said. We did, Lysara agreed with a fierce grin. Over the following months, Haven's reach continued to grow. The triad bond became official. Marcus, Lysara, Ventaya, and Kiranel worked together to build not just a colony but a life. They designed a home together. A place where all four of them could live and work. It blended human and Valari architecture. It had spaces for Lysara to train, for Ventaya to hold meetings, for Kiranel to study, and for Marcus to tinker with his projects. News of the triad bond spread. Some people were confused. Others were critical. But many saw it as a symbol of the new possibilities the Alliance offered. More ships arrived at Haven's Reach. Humans and Valari who wanted to be part of something new. The colony doubled in size, then tripled. 1 year after the trial of shared purpose began, representatives from both governments arrived for an inspection. They walked through the thriving settlement. They saw humans and Valari living together in peace. This is remarkable, a human official said. You have exceeded all expectations. We worked hard, Marcus said simply. You did more than that, a Valari official replied. You created a model for the future, a place where our peoples are truly united. That evening there was a ceremony. The colony was officially recognized by both governments. Haven's Reach was now permanent. Marcus stood with Lysara, Ventaya, and Kiranel at the center of the celebration. People from dozens of species had come to see what they had built. The ceremony was beautiful. Afterward, the four of them walked to the edge of the settlement. The sun was setting. The sky turned brilliant shades of orange and purple. Look at what we have created, Kiranel said softly. It is more than I ever imagined, Ventaya admitted. We should be proud, Lysara stated. Marcus nodded. We should. But this is just the beginning. He looked at his three partners. His three loves? His family. There are other worlds, Marcus said. Other places where humans and Valari could live together. We could help build them too. Always thinking ahead, Ventaya teased gently. It is one of the things we love about you, Kiranel added. Lysara put her arm around Marcus. Wherever we go together. Together, Marcus agreed. They stood watching the sunset. Around them, the colony bustled with life. Children played. Adults worked and laughed and built relationships. This was the future. A figure approached them. It was a young human woman. Excuse me, she said nervously. I just arrived from Earth. I heard about what you did here. About the triad bond? What about it? Ventaya asked kindly. I was wondering, the woman continued. Could others do the same? Form bonds across species? Build lives together? Marcus smiled. Of course. That is what Haven's Reach is all about. Creating new possibilities. The woman smiled back. Thank you. You have given me hope. She walked away. Marcus watched her go. We've started something, he realized. Something bigger than us. Yes, Kiranel agreed. We have shown people a new way. Better way, Lysara added. Ventaya took Marcus's hand. We have proven that differences can be strengths. That working together we can achieve anything. The four of them stood together as the stars began to appear in the darkening sky. They had come so far from that confused moment in the ceremonial chamber. When Marcus had faced an impossible choice and refused to accept it, he had found a third option, a human solution. Not choosing one, but embracing all. Not competing, but cooperating. Not dividing, but uniting. And in doing so, he had helped. Create something beautiful. Haven's Reach stretched out before them. A settlement built on hope and hard work. A place where two species learned to live as one. A symbol of what the galaxy could become. What are you thinking about? Kiranel asked Marcus. The future, Marcus replied. All the possibilities ahead of us. We'll face them together. Lasara promised. Always together, Vaintaya confirmed. Marcus looked at the three remarkable women who had chosen to bind their lives to his, who had taught him about courage and wisdom and love, who had become his partners in every sense. Yeah, he said with a smile. Always together, celebration continued behind them. Music and laughter filled the air. But the four of them stayed where they were, watching the stars, planning the future. Being together, this was home. This was family. This was everything, and it was only the beginning.